First, breaking news, a tireless advocate for peace, democracy, and human rights. Our nation's 39th president, Jimmy Carter, has died at 100 years old. Good evening. I'm Natalie Dudridge. Jessica Moore is off this evening. The former president passed away peacefully today at his home in Plains, Georgia, surrounded by family. Flags are at half-staff at the U.S. Capitol and the White House tonight in honor of the former president. And now to a look at the Empire State Building, courtesy of EarthCam. The building was lit red and white and blue tonight for his passing. Dick Brennan has more on his contributions to the country and the legacy he leaves behind.
Some will always remember James Earl Carter as the Georgia peanut farmer turned president. He came from a religious family and had a big smile and big dreams. He married his wife Rosalind in 1946. The Carters became partners in life and in their future political and humanitarian endeavors. Jimmy Carter was elected to the Georgia Senate in 1962. He became governor of Georgia in 1971, announcing his candidacy for president 3 years later. Relatively unknown, he capitalized on the country's need for change after Watergate. He won the race for president, getting elected in 1976.
This inauguration ceremony marks a new beginning.
As president, Jimmy Carter created the Department of Education and the Department of Energy. He was deeply concerned about energy conservation and had solar panels installed at the White House. He also helped to return the Panama Canal to Panama, and in 1978 helped establish peace between Egypt and Israel. With high inflation, Carter fought back by increasing government spending and implementing wage and price guidelines. Neither worked. The energy crisis brought long gas lines, one of the lasting insults of the late 1970s. Then came the Iranian hostage crisis.
If there's one subject that literally never leaves my mind, it's the 53 innocent Americans that have been held so long.
Carter took the bulk of the blame for a botched rescue attempt. The president's popularity dipped, and in 1980, Ronald Reagan easily swept the election. When asked in later years if there was anything he wished he'd done differently, Carter said he wished he had sent one more helicopter to help.
We would have rescued him, and I would have been reelected, but that may have interfered with the foundation of the Carter Center.
After leaving office, the Carters established the Carter Center. His work there helped earn him the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. He also became very involved in Habitat for Humanity, often picking up a hammer to build homes. In August of 2015, Carter revealed he had cancer.
I've had an exciting and adventurous and gratifying existence. So I was surprisingly at ease, much more so than my wife was.
After months of treatment, Carter announced he didn't need any more.
They don't have any sign of cancer right now.
In later life, he kept active in the political sphere. In 2016, encouraging students at Emory University to vote.
I would just say vote, and if you want to be like me, vote Democratic. If you want to be different from me, vote Republican.
In March 2019, Carter became the oldest living president in U.S. history. Despite reaching that milestone, 2019 was a year marred by health problems, but he let none of that derail his efforts to help those in need.
I had a #1 priority, and that was to come to Nashville to build houses.
In February 2023, after a series of short hospital stays, Carter entered home hospice care. He lived to mark his 77th anniversary with his beloved Rosalind in July of that year.
The best thing I ever did was marrying Rosalind. That's the pinnacle of my life.
Rosalind Carter died in November of 2023 at the age of 96. President Carter, 10 months into hospice at the time, attended her funeral, reclined in a wheelchair and covered with a blanket with his wife's face on it. President Jimmy Carter lived a long life as a man of public service and faith. He reflected on everything he accomplished in a 2018 interview with Jane Pauley on CBS Sunday Morning.
I would say, as far as public service is concerned, I was a champion of peace and human rights. I've sought to carve out for myself a productive and, I hope, useful and certainly a gratifying life.
And there will be public observances in Atlanta and Washington, D.C., and then a private interment in Plains, Georgia. The final arrangements for President Carter's state funeral are still being determined. Jimmy Carter is survived by his 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and 14 great-grandchildren. A grandson died in 2015. Carter's son Chip released this statement today, writing in part, "My father was a hero, not only to me, but to everyone who believes in peace, human rights, and unselfish love." President Joe Biden releasing a statement as well, writing, "Today, America and the world lost an extraordinary leader, statesman, and humanitarian. He showed that we are a great nation because we are a good people, decent and honorable, courageous and compassionate, humble and strong." And President-elect Donald Trump reflecting on Jimmy Carter with his statement reading, "The challenges Jimmy faced as a president came at a pivotal time for our country, and he did everything in his power to improve the lives of all Americans. For that, we all owe him a debt of gratitude." And stick with CBS News New York as we remember Jimmy Carter. We'll have continuing coverage as the former president is laid to rest. For a detailed look at his life and legacy, you can head to our website, cbsnewyork.com.